episode 2 of Debunking the Myths of Modular. This time around, I'm going to tackle the myth that modular is just way too expensive. And frankly, this is a tough thing to discuss because modular can be very expensive. When I look at my own system that I've spent the last 9 years building up, it ends up being a pretty big chunk of change when you consider that there's over 250 modules in my system. But it doesn't have to be that way for everybody. Let's find out why. Many modular users have discovered the joy of using the software Modular Grid online to plan and keep track of their own systems. It's a great way to try popping different modules into a specifically sized case to see if you've got the power requirements and to see if it's going to do everything that you need in terms of patching. Modular Grid is a great resource because it lets you look at other people's designs for modular systems. So a quick search of expensive modular rigs shows us that there's some pretty big ideas out there. It's easy to see how someone could spend, upwards of $3,000 to $8,000 on a modular system. And in some cases, this is just the modules themselves. This doesn't even include the cost of the case, which can be quite high depending on power requirements, and the cost of all the cables and the other goodies that you might need. Here we see a few examples of what are some pretty big and pretty expensive modular systems. In some cases, these systems are designed to do lots of everything. In other cases, they're expensive simply because they've got some individually expensive and large modules built in. But when we talk about modular systems, we're not always talking about hardware modular systems. Modular has been available in software for years and years, and in fact, before modular and Eurorack systems started to really become popular, about 15 to 10 years ago, software systems were available and were often used at a much, much lower price. Software environments like Max, Super Collider, and more have been available for years and years and use a modular system for constructing music. The last several years have seen an explosion in software like VCV Rack, a program that lets you pop in your own modules, wire them together, and then the computer does all the number crunching and sound production for you. This can save you thousands and thousands of dollars, give you the benefit of having presets, and makes the system much more portable. And here's another look at Modular Grid. This time around, I'm doing a search for inexpensive systems, and then I put together a few examples of my own systems that are designed to be less expensive. Modular Grid users have created all kinds of little systems that are cheap, and they might start out for as little as about $700 or $800 and work their way up to a couple $1,000s. When you consider the price of modern keyboard synths these days, it's pretty easy to create a small modular system that would be competitive in price, even once you include the cable and the case itself. The key to designing an inexpensive modular system is to refrain from too many oscillators and too many filters, and instead focus on more utilities and more voltage controllable modules that will allow you to get the most out of the modularity side of patching. In this way, you'll be able to patch together all kinds of experiments and all kinds of voltage controlled soundscapes so that you get a sense of how patching actually works without having to spend a fortune designing a giant case that does everything. Not all modular systems need to have drums, effects, mixing, sampling all built in there. Really just focusing on the voltage controllable aspects of the system and some of the utility aspects will give you a good sense of what it's like to work with modular and how it can be so different and so rewarding when compared to just using a keyboard synth with presets. Well, I hope this has been helpful. Please feel free to add some descriptions of cheap modular systems in the comments. Please consider joining my Patreon to support me to make more music and more videos, and check out some of my other videos here on YouTube. Take care, everyone. Thanks so much, and we'll see you the next time that we explore the myths of modular.